So we are going to discuss portfolio risk and return um, I think for the next several sessions, maybe three or four sessions. So these 3 or 4 sessions will be the core or the foundations of the portfolio theory, because usually in the second half of the course, we'll talk more about the instruments, bond and the stock, and of course some theories like arbitrage pricing theory or behavioral finance, and toward the end, um, we may discuss the derivative contracts and everything. So um, for the first half or first part of the course, we have to focus on again the foundations of portfolio theory, when it was established, the basic concepts, and also formulation of the theory itself. Okay, so we'll start from this session again to the next several sessions about the portfolio risk and return. And actually, we'll start from individual asset risk and return. So let me share the screen. As usual, if you have questions or require clarifications, or you have some opinions here, just speak up, unmute yourself and speak up, okay? So yeah, we're going to talk about portfolio, and later you'll find out the definition of optimum portfolio for everybody, like, because everyone has his or her own actually optimum portfolio. So this is an important objective for an investor, and some important components or characteristics that will define an optimal portfolio would be, the trade-off between risk and return. As always, I think you saw this a lot in the corporate finance course and financial management, return and risk. And the actually last week we talked about it, the trade-off between risk and return. We said the higher the risk. Can you tell me again? What's the no usual analogy for risk and return? Right? We call it what? High risk, high what?
High return, sir.
Yeah, high risk, high return. To be more precise, high risk, high expected return. High risk, high expected return. Because we cannot guarantee anything, right? We cannot promise anything. Who was that again? Who was speaking before?
Francis, sir.
Francis. Yeah, let's start from Francis. Like you decided to take this program, like the IUP program, instead of other programs or activities. Just think about it, right? So why are you taking this program? Pragmatically, pragmatic reasons. For what?
Uh, I expect to broaden my knowledge on learning how to deal with stocks.
Of course, right? So you're taking the program for extending your knowledge, right? But to be pragmatic, I think you take the program to get the certificate, to earn big money in the future. Of course, there's a very pragmatic reasons, or maybe to find a good girlfriend, a beautiful and prospective girlfriend. So yeah, whatever the reason is, but you are calculating, right? Or you were calculating or you had been calculating before you took the program, to be precise. So you finally made the decision to come. But if you think about it, some of your friends, maybe some of your high school friends, decided not to go to a certain university, not to come to UGM. They went somewhere else, or even they decided not to take any university program. Maybe they straight went to the workplace. They own their own businesses or whatever. So you are calculating, right? So you are taking the higher risk by coming here. So what is the risk of taking this program? Can you tell us? Or maybe someone else, whoever here, Honey, maybe Honey. I'm looking at my screen, so
Yes, sir.
randomly. Yeah, so can you tell us, when you take this program, when you take the IUP program, what are the risks that you are facing?
The risk that I'm facing,
By taking the IUP program.
I would say I think um, financial because it's more expensive.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Financial risk, like, of course, your parents have to allocate a certain amount of money per semester or per month or something like that. But actually, they could have used that money for something else,
Yes.
for expanding the business, or buying assets or whatever. What else? Farhansha, maybe Farhansha. Can you mention some what else? Other risks.
Um, I guess bad grades.
Bad grades, of course. So not satisfactory. Uh, what about the health? Ambrosius, maybe? Ambrosius? What do you think, Ambrosius? Or Fiolina?
Um, is international exposure a risk? Like we have to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, transportation risk and also financial risk, of course. Yeah, that's right. So you have to travel far away for the international
For
exposure.
international, yeah, yeah. It's
Mhm.
mandatory for IUP
That's right.
student.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, good one. So, if you think about it, you are taking a higher level of risk. So, what is your expectation then? Again, like what Francis said, you expect to extend your knowledge, but at the end, you expect to earn big money, right? Big money to compensate for the risk and also sacrifices that you have put or you have experienced here. But next question, a very important question. Can anyone guarantee that? Can anyone guarantee that by graduating from the IUP program, you'll be a billionaire or something? Can anyone guarantee?
No, sir.
No,
Nobody can
sir.
guarantee. No one can guarantee. But the expectation is there. So you understand what I'm saying, right? High risk, high expected return. Nobody could guarantee that you will get high return, right? But the expectation is there. So uh, why do you want to take a higher level of risk? Because you have a higher expected return. Without a higher expected return, you will not do it. Like common sense, right? Why should I do it? You want to do it because you have a high expected return, but nobody can guarantee. So high risk, high expected return. So that's always the norm in everything. And then correlation among assets. This is a technical part that we are going to see. Probably not this week, maybe next week. We see the technical portfolio theory, how it is formed and how it works out in practice. And risk profile of the investor. Of course, you need to know if you are the investor, you need to know yourself, your risk profile, your risk appetite. If this is about client, then you have to find out your customer or your client. That's what we call it, what, KYC, right? Know your customer. So we're going to see some some formats of return or some forms of return, some other major return measures, historical and other things, things that we're going to see. So we'll start from the holding period return. So we are talking about individual return, right? So between the return and risk, we choose to discuss return first, good news first, right? Good news first, or return. Later we'll talk about risk. Holding period return, see the name here, very easy, holding period. So this is return that you earn for a certain holding period, maybe 1 year, maybe 1 month, 1 week, or anything. And this is quite simple. You notice this formula. This is the so the end. So look at it carefully. Okay, we are talking about return that has happened. So this is we call it ex post. It has happened, right? It has happened. So this is a realized return, not an expected return. I see realized or materialized return. So this is very easy, like the final value. So you can call it final price minus the previous price divided by the previous price. So this is the capital gains part. But remember, in every investment, you also have the the like fixed part or promise part. That you can call it whatever. The promise part. In this text, they call it I. Or you can call it anything, maybe A or X or anything. So maybe X. So you have the promise part, and you also have the potential capital gains or an increase in the asset price. Okay, so let me give you an illustration here. Maybe Pramudio, okay, Pramudio. So if you put your money in a like simple time deposit, what is your expectation?
Pardon, sir, the question, sorry?
If you put your money in a time deposit, okay, simple time deposit at the bank, what is your expectation as compensation?
I want to save it for the future. I think I got a little bit of bonus. Like
So you put your money in time deposit. What's the easiest compensation that you expect? Put your money in a bank.
bunga. What's English?
Yeah, interest. Interest. Not flower, right? Interest. You mean interest, right? Yeah.
Yes, interest.
Okay. So you see here, if we talk about return, this is always the ratio between your proceed. Proceed means result. Proceed divided by investment. Very easy, right? So proceed could be anything. So Pramudio, in your case, you put your money in a time deposit, so you expect interest income. Interest income is your only, it's the only compensation that you can expect from the time deposit. So let me continue with here. Kayendra.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Kayendra. So if you buy a bond, right? Buy a bond. Yeah. So what do you expect as compensation?
That I'll get the return, but
Yeah. What is it? What form is it?
Wait, I'm sorry, sir. What is what?
Yeah. What is the form of your return? You buy a bond.
Wait. Wait, is it share? Which one?
No, you buy a bond. What is the return? Dimas, you wanted to say something?
Is it coupon, sir?
Yeah, coupon means interest, right? Coupon or interest income. What else?
The face value of the bond at the maturity date.
That's not compensation, but that's your right. But put it this way, right? You want the price of the bond, you want the price to increase from time to time. So capital gains, right? You call it capital gains. So you have two expectations there: the coupon income, interest income, and also capital gains. But the money that you receive at the end, like the face value of the bond, is your right. It's not your compensation. Like it belongs to you, but you have to wait until the end. But here we are talking about the capital gains, the increasing price from time to time. Right? Okay, so for the case of bond, you can expect the proceed to be what? Coupon income and also the capital gains. So next one, Francis already. Someone else? Is it? Muhammad Arif. Arif, are you there? Arif or Alex? Alex. Where is Alex?
Here.
Oh, have you eaten the mooncake? Must be delicious.
I've eaten the mooncake. Yeah.
Crap. Waduh. So if you invest in stock, what is your expectation? The form of your return.
Dividends.
Yeah, dividend, one thing, right? Dividend. What else?
Capital gain.
Yeah, capital gains also. You see, by principle, we call the proceed, right? Proceed of the investment. But if we have like different forms of investments, then we have different proceeds. But you see, you understand what I'm saying, right? The principle remains the same. It's always proceed divided by investment. So you can imagine, maybe who else now? Nico, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
So let's imagine that when you bought the stock, you bought the stock at 5,000, maybe Mandiri before the pandemic. So you bought it at 5,000, and during the holding period, they somehow they paid dividends of maybe 300 per share. Okay, so you got it at 5,000 a piece. During the holding period, you got 300 rupiah as dividends, right, per share. And yeah, when you sold it again, you sold it maybe 2 months later, the price was 5,200. Now this is just an example. It could be negative as well. Could be 4,000. Could be 3,600, like it is today. But just assume that it's 5,200. So tell me, how much is your proceed in this case?
The proceed is 500.
Yeah, what are they?
It is the capital gain, which is 200.
200.
And also the dividend,
That's
which
right.
is 300. Yeah.
Yes. And how much was your investment?
5,000.
Yes. So how much is it then?
It's
Your
10%.
return? Yeah, 10%. Easy, right? So the principle is always the same: proceed divided by investment, right? But again, if you invest in another instrument, then the forms of proceed will be different, but the principle remains the same. Right? Any question about this? Quite
Sir,
easy.
I have
Yes?
a question. What is if the proceed is actually not in the form of money? For example, you have the right to vote in the, what is it, like the decision of the company? Is that included as proceed, and can we calculate that?
Okay. No, we cannot mix that one with the financial return. But that's maybe you can call it the benefit of power, right? You have the control, yeah, the what's that, the corporate control. But what we cannot include that into the return calculation, because financial return deals with money, right? The level of return, right? The financial return that you are enjoying. That would be like the qualitative benefits or something like that. Yeah, non-monetary benefits like corporate control. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so we have seen the holding period return, and now we'll talk about something very important here. We have arithmetic return and also geometric. So this is very, very important. Mean, what is mean again? Can you tell me quickly? Anyone here? Mean? What's the meaning of mean?
The average.
Average, very simple. Average. So the first one is arithmetic average, arithmetic return. So in arithmetic return, this is very simple. We have been doing this every day, finding the average of something. But here's the caveat to the arithmetic return. If we are talking about something in what's that? In order, okay, especially in numerical orders, then we have to be careful when we use the arithmetic return, because it cannot catch the successive effect, right? Successive effect. You find out in a little while, but for arithmetic return or arithmetic average, this is very, very appropriate for independent measures, right? Independent numbers. For example, if I ask all of you, right, just randomly, okay, can you tell me, okay, just use this class as an example, what kind of averages or means that estimate all of us here independently? So your number doesn't depend on another person's number, but your number also doesn't affect another person. Can you give me examples? What are they? What calculation, for example?
GPA, sir?
Your GPA, right? Supposed to be independent, right? If your GPA is depending on someone else, it means that there's some collusion, right, in the class. But yeah, very unlikely in the modern times. So your GPA should be independent. So when I conduct a survey on all of you, Nicholas, what is your GPA? Violina, Farhan Shah, whoever here, Raihan, right? What are your GPAs? Then when I try to do the averaging, I will use the arithmetic average. Common sense, right? Because there's no dependency, there's no relation whatsoever between Nicholas GPA and Pramudio's GPA and someone else. Okay, so what else? Give me examples. What other measures or variables that we can measure easily using the arithmetic in this class?
Maybe height, sir.
Your height, your height, your ages, right? Your average age, average height, money, maybe money. Your stipend, maybe should be independent, right?
Yes, sir.
Independent or not? Of course, independent. So, yeah, how come the amount of stipend that you have affects someone else in the class? No way, right? So, yeah, the amount of stipend and everything. Okay, so you can imagine it easily. However, for the next one, so arithmetic average, I don't think I need to explain further. Is that you add everyone's numbers, right? And then you divide by the number of observations. For example, here we have maybe 33 people, right, according to my screen. 33 people, we just add everything and then we divide by 33. Common sense, right? Okay, so in mathematical formula, we say we have a return of everyone, or the number of everyone, and then we sum them together. Okay, then we divide it by the number of observations, right? This is that simple average. But now here's the problem. When we are talking about, for example, investment performance, so investment performance is not independent from the previous day's amount. You understand what I'm saying, right? For example, here, Kayandra, for example, yesterday you invested 10 million rupiahs, okay? 10 million, and you maybe because you invested in some cook stocks or something, you earn quick money today, okay? So your money today, it has grown to, let's say, 12 million, okay? 12 million within a day. So when you invest tomorrow, you see, your amount of money would be 12 million. 12 million. So not 10 million, because it's accumulated with the unrealized return. The money is there, but you have not, you have not withdrawn the money. So it's part of the next investment. So this being the case, we cannot use the arithmetic average because it cannot catch the dependence or the dependent factor of the new number. You understand what I'm saying, right? When we did the arithmetic average, we didn't have this kind of problem because all the data were independent. What we did before, your heights, your ages, even your stipends, right? All were independent. But for the investment, you see, the numbers that we have follow a certain order. So the number that comes up right now is affected by, the numbers are affected by the previous previous results or previous numbers. Okay, so that's we'll see some examples here. So this is a simple example you see here. So year one, also you see the money here. Money, we started from easy example, 1 euro, the money dropped to 50 cents. So obviously we lost 50% of the money. But from 50, it improved to 67. So see 67, how much is it? 67, how much percent is it? It's like 67.50 minus 50 cents divided by 50 cents. Okay, so we got this, right? So it improved by 35%. And then from 67.50, it increased again to 58.73. So again, this is very easy. 58.73 minus 67.50 divided by 67.50. So we got 27%. So can you calculate quickly how much is it the arithmetic return? Tell me quickly, what is the arithmetic return, arithmetic average of this? How much is it? The arithmetic average? Can you do
Hello?
it quickly? Huh?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah. Yes.
Is it negative 17%, sir?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'm asking you. Not negative 17? Is it?
Negative 16.6. The exact number.
Okay. Wait. I don't think so. I don't think so because it's already positive there.
%?
Yeah, 4%, I think. 4%, right? Because minus 50 plus 35 plus 27 is what? 12. Yeah, 12 divided by 3. Right? 12 divided by 3 is 4%. Okay, so the arithmetic average is 4%. Agree, right? 4% is the arithmetic one, the common average. And it doesn't make sense, right? Because 4% per year, right? At the end of 3 years, it should be what? If you have one, we have €1. What is it? Oh, yeah, €1. So if you earn 4%, 4%, how much should it be after 3 years? There's 1 multiplied by 1 plus 4% to the power of 3. How much should it be? Can you calculate quickly?
$125, sir.
I don't think so. Is it? I don't think so. It's €1, 1 multiplied by 1 plus 4% to the power of 3.
1.124.
4864.
Yeah, this looks more logical. Okay, so let's say 112. 112. So 112. Okay, let's check. Is it correct? 112. It's not correct, right? Because at the end of year 3, your money is only 85 cents. So definitely the arithmetic average is not accurate, and you know why, right? Arithmetic average, arithmetic return is not suitable for this kind of calculation because the number in this period is affected by what happened in previous periods, and our performance in this period will affect the performance or the numbers in subsequent periods. Okay, so that's why we cannot use the arithmetic average in this situation. Okay, because the money that we have right now is affected by what happened previously, the previous performance, and also the money that we will have at the end of this period will finally affect the amount of money in subsequent periods. Okay, so that's why we have to use the geometric, we call it geometric return, or you can call it another way. The fancy name, fancy name of it is time weighted. Sounds cool, right? Time weighted return. So when you talk to someone, or you talk to parents, you go, "Oh, what is your time weighted return?" Sounds very cool. but actually it is what? Geometric return. Geometric return. So geometric means it's compounding, right? Compounding. So it's not not intermittent, but it's compounding, right? Compounding. So let's imagine you have so 1 plus your geometric return, right? Geometric return to the power of something, right? To the power of, let's say, n. This will be the function of 1 plus the periodic return, the holding period return that we saw before, right? Periodic return to the what's that? I, okay? Period of, oh sorry, t, period of t. Okay, and then we find the pi, okay? You still remember this the meaning of the pi? Pi means multiplication, okay? The sigma means addition. Remember from your high school? You just graduated from high school some years ago, right? Sigma means addition. The pi means what? Pi means multiplication, right? So multiplication, right? And then yeah, so that's it. So now if you want to move it, you see, I want to move here, the power, right? The power n here. So what is it then? To the power of 1 over n. Remember from your mathematics, right? Right? We should have n here, we move it there. So it becomes what? 1 over n, right? To the power of 1 over n. And I want to move the 1. I want to move the 1, right? So here, right? Okay, so yeah, easily understood. So for example, if you have, in this example, we have 3 periodic returns. So the geometric return, so I will write it again, okay? 1 plus geometric return, we have 3 periods. So this should equal what? 1 plus the first one. What is the first one? Minus what? 50%? 1 plus, so minus. What else? Multiplication, right? Multiplication. The pi. Multiplication. So what is the second one?
35.
35 and 27. 5, 27. Can you calculate quickly? How much is it?
Is it 0.85?
I don't know, maybe. 0. What?
0.85725.
Yeah, 7 what? Something, yeah, 7 something, okay. Yeah. So you move it there, right? The 3 here, to the power of 3, you move it here. So how much is it? To the power of 1/3.
0.9499.
Okay, and then to get the geometric return, -1 here. How much is it?
Minus 0.05.
Yeah, so -5%. Yeah, -5%. Okay, so let's prove it, okay? So you started from 1, right? You started from 1. Now you are making, so geometric return per year, the geometric average return per year is -5%. So 1 minus 5% to the power of 3. Can you prove it? How much is it?
$0.857.
Okay, so let's prove it. Is it true that our money, yeah, correct, right? See the amount of money? Okay, so that's why geometric return is more suitable for investment return calculation, you know, the average average return using the geometric averaging instead of arithmetic. Any question about this? Very easy. Right, quite easy, right? So arithmetic, you can use arithmetic for independent numbers, independent things that don't correlate or don't affect one another. But for the case where the numbers are affecting one another or are correlated with the previous periods or subsequent periods, then we have to use the geometric return. And remember again, what is the other name of geometric return? What is the other name of geometric return?
Is it compound return, sir?
Yeah, compounding return, yeah. And the other one? The fancy one? Time-weighted return, yeah. Sounds cool, right? Time-weighted return. So time-weighted. Because we have another name, what's that, another type? We call it money-weighted return. So see, there are two types now, two types of return expression. One is time-weighted that we just saw. So time-weighted return is more suitable for portfolio managers because they want to know that. Time-weighted return means they want to know the return for the periods, right? For weighted by the time. But there's another type called money-weighted return that we are going to see in a while. So money-weighted return is suitable for an investor because the investor wants to know, right? If I put money today, I put money 2 days later, I put money 5 days later, what is actually my return? What is actually my average return? So investors are more interested in, the money-weighted returns, because it tells the average return calculated or weighted by the cash flow, cash inflows, cash outflows. But for portfolio managers, for the people managing the money, time-weighted return is more meaningful, and we'll see why. So we'll continue with money-weighted return. So again, this is more suitable for an investor. We see an example here. So balance from the previous year, nothing, right? So we started today. So new investment. The beginning of year one. Beginning of year one means the end of year zero. The same thing, right? So the ending of year zero is the beginning of year one. So the beginning of year one, we invested 100, and so the net balance when we started year one was 100. So investment return for that is 50%, minus 50%. So obviously now our money dropped or has dropped to minus 50, to what's that, 50. See, so we lost 50, whatever, $50, 50 million or whatever. So the balance at the end of year one is 50. Okay, so when we start year two, we start with 50. But at the end of year one, this investor put another 950. So the end of year one is the beginning of year two. The same thing, right? The end of year one is the beginning of year two. So this guy put additional 950. So when we start year two, we have 1,000. Suddenly we have 1,000 because the previous balance was 50, but the guy also invested additional 950. So this year, we are making 35%. Wow, cool, right? Making 35%, it means what, 350, right? The amount of money. So from 1,000, we earn 350 or 35% of the investment. Oops, wow. Okay, so from 1,000 we earn 350, but in year two the investor also withdrew 350. So this is a separate thing, right? So we earn 350, but the investor also withdrew 350 in year two. So what is the remaining money at the end of year two? Is 1,000, right? 1,000. So we start year 3 with 1,000. No new investment at the end of year 2. So we start with 1,000. And this year, for example, we earn 270 or 27%. 70 or 27%. No withdrawal, no WD, no withdrawal this year. So the end amount of money at year 3 is 1,270 euros. Okay, so can you tell me now the cash flow, the real cash flows that the guy, this investor, were disbursing and also withdrawing? Year 0, how much is it?
Minus 100, sir.
Minus 100, I think so. So at year 0, the amount of money, maybe we need to move. So year 0, the amount of money going out, 100. Year 1?
Minus 950.
Yes, minus 950. You see, nothing, no withdrawal here in year 1. So this 100 was from the beginning of year 1 or the end of year 0. So year 1, no withdrawal. So 950 here. So this happened at the end of year 1 or the beginning of year 2. So we have minus 950. What else? Year 2? What is happening in year 2?
Plus 350.
Oh, yes. Plus 100, plus 350 because he or she withdrew the money. And 0 new investment at the end of year 2. So in year 2, it's quite obvious this person withdrew 350, but adding 0. You see here? Right? So he or she withdrew 350, but added 0. Okay, so at the end of year 3, how much is the, if he or she is going to withdraw, this is the amount of money, right? You see the logic there? These are the real cash flows experienced by the person. So we put the numbers into Excel, okay, to get the IRR. Do you still remember? Internal rate of return. Internal rate of return. Every one of you still remember, right? To some extent, to some extent.
Yeah. To some extent.
Yeah. So yeah, it's so unfortunate you didn't take my class. So unfortunately, but you could watch my videos, widely available. So IRR. So we have to calculate the IRR. So what is the logic there? Why we need to calculate the IRR? Because we need to find the return at the what's that? At the position of 0 NPV, right? 0 NPV. So what is the IRR? So we have cash flows, future cash flows, discounted back at the IRR. Okay, so here the denominator. So we find the denominator that equates the present value of cash flows to 0. 0 is the NPV. Okay, here we can. Of course, we will not calculate by hands. Okay, I just want to. You just need to show the to know the logics. So how is it then? 0 should equal what? Minus 100 divided by what? 1 plus the money weighted return. Money weighted return to the power of what? This one. To the power of this one?
0, sir.
0.
Yeah, why 0? Can you tell me why 0?
It is the initial investment.
Initial investment.
Yeah, but why is it? Why you give the power of 0 if it is the initial investment?
Because it's at year 0.
Yeah, I understand what you are saying, but actually not because it's time 0. But because it moved nowhere, you see, right? This is the cash flow here. What else? Yeah, whatever the number, right? You are here, right? You are here. You want to come here. How much movement? How many movement do you make?
Nothing, sir.
Nothing. That's why it's to the power of 0, because you move nowhere. Not because it's year 0, okay? But I mean, by chance it's times 0, okay? By chance it's times 0, but it's not because of it times 0, but because it moved nowhere. You see this one later, 950. How many movement is it? How many movement from here to here?
1 year, sir.
Yeah, not because it's 1 year. How many movement? I'm asking how many movement?
Minus 850.
Oh.
No. How many movement? How many movements from this period to here?
One movement.
Only one movement. Yes, only one movement. That's why it's to the power of 1. Not because it's 1 year, right? Not because it's year 1. You understand what I'm saying, right? The power in calculus, okay? The power in calculus works depending on the movements, not the number of years or month or whatever. The movements, right? One movement means 1 power. 2 movements means 2 power. So power 0 to the power of 0, because it moves nowhere, you see? It's already here, you want to move it here. So continue, tell me again. Minus 950 to the power of?
1.
Yeah, 1. Plus 350 plus 0. So 350 to the power of?
2.
Yeah, tell me again quickly why?
Because it moves 2 times.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Yeah, excellent, excellent. So you know better now. So to the power of what?
3.
Yeah, 3. Okay. Of course, we will not calculate by hands, right? We are crazy. Huh? We calculate by hands in this generation. But you need to know how to do it. You need to know how to do it. That's like business, right? You see? That's why I told you, even the billionaire children, right? Even like Donald Trump, Donald Trump, he was born a billionaire, but he still went to like Wharton, some good schools, to know the tools and techniques. Of course, he never calculates by hands, right? But you have to know how to do it. So you have to know the techniques, but you don't do it by hands, of course. Tell me again the numbers. Minus 100. What else?
Minus
Is it again? 950.
950.
350 positive. 1,270.
Okay. Easy, right? Just IRR. The money. Yeah, we call it money weighted return. Cool name, eh? Money weighted return. IRR. Oops, wrong button. Values, just block everything, and then we get everything. So easier. Even cats can do it. So 26.11%, right? So yeah, 26.11% is the money weighted return, right? Money weighted return, or the IRR. Okay, money weighted return. So let's calculate the time weighted. What is it again? Time weighted return. What's the other name?
Geometric
return.
Yeah, geometric return. Yeah, that's good. So we try to compare it. So again, time weighted return is based on what's that? Based on the performance, right? The amount of money. So what is the results? So time 0. So we need to calculate that one first. Oh, maybe we use another example, right? Boring, eh? So let's continue first, right? we have so many examples. So I told you before that you need to read what chapters? What? 5, 6, 7. Right? 5, 6, 7. Chapters 5, 6, 7. So it's an accumulation of the knowledge about portfolio theory, but I'm using the same materials, but I try to make it more concise, right, with more examples. So keep reading, okay? It's very important for you to read because you get the foundational knowledge, and we can see a lot of examples afterward. So we'll continue with this one, okay, rather than using the old one. Here, computation of returns, you see the situation here. We started from what, 30 million. The AUM, assets under management. Beginning of year. Beginning of year means end of the previous year. So beginning of year 1 means the end of year 0. Okay, so 30 million. Then what else? The next amount of money is 45 million. Okay, 20 million, 25 million, 35 million. So this is the amount of AUM, assets under management. But we got information also about return. Right? The return, the first year we got 15%, then minus 5%, 10, 15, and 3. So I have some questions here. The holding period return. So what is the holding period return again? Okay, so holding period return, what we did before. So you just, this is the multiplication. So this is similar to the geometric return, but you don't find the square, to the power of 1 over n. So holding period return, we just want to know, we start from here, right? 30 million. We earn 15% for the first year, minus 5, and so on. So with this kind of returns, what is the the end of the end amount of our money, right? So see that 1 plus 15% multiplied by 1 minus 5 multiplied by 1 plus 10 multiplied by 1 plus 15 multiplied by 1 plus 3. So it's not that meaningful because we just want to know, right? When you start with a certain amount of money, how much will you end up with? So we find out that it's 42.35% at the end. So if you have 100 million, for example, from the beginning, at the beginning you have $100 or euros. At the end you have 142.35 by knowing the holding period return. Again, it's not that meaningful. You just want to know how your money will end up from a certain amount of money. But let's see now number 2, arithmetic. Can you tell me how to do it? This one, we just discussed it. How to find this one?
15% minus 5.
Yeah, how do you get it?
The net return, we compute it.
And then?
Minus 15% minus 5%.
Yeah. And then?
15% plus 15% plus 3 divided by 5.
Yeah, that's right. So you got what? 7.6, right? About that. Yeah, just add them together divided by the number of observations, right? What else? Geometric. How will you do it again? Geometric? Or you got some results maybe, or just tell us how you do it.
Add all under the square root, sir, and then minus 1.
Yeah, not square root. Square root means to the power of half.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell us again. What's it again? More details maybe. How will you do it?
15 minus 5.
No, 1 plus 15.
1
plus 15.
1 minus 5.
Multiplied by,
Multiplied by 1 minus 5. Multiplied by 1 plus 10. Multiplied by 1 plus 15. Multiplied by 1 plus 3 minus 1.
Oh, to the power of?
To the power of, wait, I forgot that one, sir.
Anyone? To the power of what?
Five.
Yeah, to the power of 1/5. Minus 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get what? Yeah, you get 7.32. See some difference here. Right? The arithmetic return is higher. Geometric return is usually more conservative, right? Because you find the geometric return, right? So the compounding, is cleaner, right? Because you're using the compounding. So 7.32%, right? So next one, oh, interesting one now. The money weighted return. How will you calculate this one? We just did it before. So what do you think? You started from 30 million. So what is the cash flow at year 0?
Minus 30 million, sir?
Yeah, minus 30. Yeah, that's right. So year 1?
Minus 10.5.
Minus, where is it from?
Yes, he made new investment of 10.5.
Yeah, because you also earn money. Yeah. So yeah, better use this one. Okay, make it easy for you also. So you started investing 30 million from year 0, right? And you started with 30 million. You what is the first year again? Oh, 15%. You made 15%. So 15% of 30 is 450. 450, right? So the balance of your balance at the end of year 1 is 3450. But from the information we found out that when we started the second year, our money was 45. So we know that 1050 is the addition. Very good. So at the end of year 1, obviously the guy invested 1050. Oh, we write it here. Clear. So 1050. And at year 1, so we started with 45. No withdrawal, zero. So yeah, that's it for year 1. So we started year 2 with 45. We lost 5%, which meant 225. So our balance at the end of year 2 was 4275. But we found from the information that when we started year 3, the amount of money was 20. So 4275, but we started with 20, meaning that there was a withdrawal. Common sense, right? Because at the end of year 2, we had 4275, but the information told us that at the beginning of year 3, we only had 20, meaning that there was a withdrawal of 2275. And so we wrote down first, no new investment at the end of year 2. So at the end of year 2, no new investment, but we withdrew how much? 2275. So next, with 20, we made 10%. So that meant 2, right? 2. So the end balance was 22. Okay, 22. At the end of year 3, the guy made 3, but no withdrawal. So minus 3, right? No withdrawal. So what happened here? We started with 25, right? 22 plus 3, 25. We made 15%, which meant 375. So the balance would be 2875. So in year 5, we started year 5 with 35 million. We ended year 4 at 2875, but we started year 5 with 35, meaning that there was an addition 625, but no withdrawal. Okay, yeah, so 35, we started 35 in year 5. We got 3% or 105, and the end balance was 3605. Year 5, the end balance was, what's it, yeah? Okay, so we put into a calculator. Just follow the answer, right? But you know what I mean, right? We put into a calculator minus 30, minus 1050, plus 2275, minus 3, minus 625, and 3605. So we find the IRR. We got, yeah, nothing here. So we need to put it into our calculator. Look at it again. Did you write down the numbers by any chance? I deleted it. So what are the numbers? I don't remember. So minus 30.
Minus 30. Minus 10.5. Plus 22.75. It's a plus, sir.
Oh, which one? This one?
Yes. And then minus 3. Minus 6.25. And then plus 36.05. 05, yes.
Okay, just quickly find the IRR of this. Uh, 586%, right? 586. So you see the question there, if the Lormans want to earn a minimum annual return of 5%, is the money weighted annual return greater than 5%? What is the answer? What is your answer then? We just calculated. Yes or no? Anyone? What is our result? 856. Hey, 586. So what's the answer to number 4?
Yes, it's greater.
It's greater.
Yeah, of course, greater. 586 is asking about 5%. Okay. Any question up to this point? What's that? Money weighted. Money weighted.
Sir, for the investment return for the year, will it be inserted in the question?
Say it again.
For the investment return for the year, when we make the money weighted rate of return, will it be provided?
Provided by who? I mean, the information?
Yeah, information.
The information, yeah, this is provided. What are you asking?
For the investment return for the year from the stock itself. Investment return.
It depends on the context, because if you are talking about investments that pass, or that investments that have passed, of course we got the information, right? The amount of money, and then the return, the investment made from year to year. Because here we are talking about the realized returns. They have happened, so you have the information, of course. But if you are talking about expected returns, then we have to make expectation. So if this is about something that has passed, then you have the information, of course. Other questions before we continue with time weighted? Time weighted, the geometric. So time weighted return, you see here the name time weighted. So money weighted return is affected by the amount of money, right? Coming in, coming out. See, cash flow. For example, if you make a lot of loss during the period of high inflows, then your final results will be worse. I see that, for example, in our example there. So the investor was making a lot of money here, right? Okay. So if the investment was making a lot of losses during these periods, then it will be heavier. It will be heavier than this one, for example. That's why it's money weighted, right? Money weighted. So it's weighted by the amount of money. So this kind of measurement is not that fair to portfolio manager. So it's more suitable for investors. Portfolio managers will not be happy to use this method because, no, you could argue, right? So I'm making, for example, investment performance from year to year. But in certain years, the investments made a lot of cash inflows. And actually, we made some losses there during that period. So that will weigh down, you understand that will weigh down my performance because in that period, actually we lost money, and that was the period where investors disburse a lot of cash inflows. Right? So it will ruin the number of the investment performance. Right? So usually the portfolio managers don't want to use this method, right? The money weighted return. So they want their performance to be comparable to other portfolio managers. That's why they use the time weighted or geometric return. So we are going to see the time weighted now. Okay, time weighted. So it's weighted by time, not weighted by amount of cash flows. Okay. So it neutralizes the effect of cash withdrawals or additions to the portfolio. See the thing here. Portfolio managers will not like it because they cannot control the amount of money coming in or coming out. It depends on the investor. So they want to put money in, they want to withdraw the money, but the periodic return from time to time is under the management or under the control of the portfolio managers. That's something that we have to evaluate. How to grade the portfolio managers. So I'll go straight to an example. It's clear. So time weighted return. So let's see an example here. The quarterly performance. So beginning value or the end of year zero. End of year zero, the investment made was 4 million. 4 million. So there is an inflow of 1 million. So we started year one with 5 million. The ending value is 6 million. So what does it mean there? What does it imply? We started with 5 million. We ended with 6 million.
You make profit, sir?
Yeah. How much?
By 2 million.
5 to 6. Yeah, 1 million. Yeah. 5 to 6, right? 1 million.
Oh, yeah. 5 to 6. Yeah.
Because there was already additional 1 million at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
So we started with 5. We ended with 6. So how much percent is it?
It's 20% more.
Yeah. 1 million over 5. Yeah, 20%. Okay. So what about period 2? Period number 2, from the previous period, we had 6 million, and then there was a withdrawal by 500,000. So we started year 2 with 5.5, and it ended with 5.775. What does it imply?
The investment gains, sir.
How much? How much
The
percent?
that number is 5.5%, sir.
5.5%. So period 1, 20. Period 2, how much? 5.5, is it?
Yes,
So
sir. 5.5.
275,000 divided by 5.5. So yeah. So period 3, we started with what? 5.7, but there was an addition of 225,000. So we started with 6 million. It ended with 6.72. How much percent is it?
%12.
Okay, and then year 4, previously 6.7. There was a withdrawal. The investor withdrew 600,000. So we started year 4 with 6.1, and then it ended with 5.5. What does it mean? How much is it?
Sorry, sir. For number 2 is 5%, not 5.5. I was mistaken.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah. So and you know the method. So year 4, how much is it?
Minus
Plus
10.
10%, sir?
Say it again.
Minus 10.
Minus 10%.
Okay, so you got all the information. So yes, see here, and then we put into the geometric. Remember how to do it again? 1 plus 20% multiplied by 1 plus 5 multiplied by 1 plus 12 multiplied by 1 minus 10%. So yeah, here. However, you have to be careful here because this is quarterly. Quarterly. Remember in our previous calculation, we did it this way, right? So 1 plus geometric return or time weighted, this should equal 1 plus the return time t, and then we find the pi, right, the multiplication. Okay, so this is to the power of n. So when we move it there, n becomes to the power of 1 over n. And then we move the 1 there, right? So minus 1 at the end. But here, we use n because it's more than 1 year. More than 1 year. For example, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever. But see, the here is quarterly, right? Quarterly. So you don't need any power. You don't need any power because it's quarterly within a year. So you just need, so you need this only, right? Because this is quarterly. So 1 plus q. So the q is from 1 to 4. Okay, so you don't need to do to the power of 1/4. You don't need that one because this is within a year. You understand what I'm saying, right? So it's within a year. You don't need any power, and of course you move it there. The 1, move it here. So we got what? 27%. Yeah, 27%. Okay. So for the second example, just tell me quickly. We don't need to calculate. It's there already. Tell me what is one. How to calculate the first return? The time weighted. How much is it?
It's the difference between ending value and amount invested divided by amount invested.
Okay, so 1.2 divided by divided by 12.
Yes.
This one also the same thing, right? So see here, like the difference divided by the preceding value. So we got 10%, 2%, 8%, and 4%. So we find the geometric return, time weighted. But again, this is within a year. Quarterly, you see, quarterly. So we don't need to make a power, right? To the power of 1 over n. We don't need that one because it's within a year. If it's more than 1 year, then you need to find the power, right? To the power of 1 over n. But here it's within a year, so you simply calculate, so it's 26%. Very easy. Any question or comment before we see the direct comparison between time-weighted and money-weighted? Any questions so far? Oh, it's already dark, eh? Crazy, so fast. Hungry. Any questions or comments? Yeah. So we continue with the next example. So we compare time-weighted and money-weighted returns. So let me ask you a quick question again. So time-weighted return is more suitable for who?
For portfolio.
Portfolio managers, portfolio managers, and money-weighted?
For investors.
For investors, that's right. So we'll see example here. This exhibit 6. Wait, it jumps. So this one done. This one. So on January 14, you see the story first, right? Oil Black Fund had a market value of 100 million. So during the period of the first 4 months, the stocks in the fund showed a capital gain of 10 million. 10 million. On May the 1st, the stocks in the fund paid a total dividend of 2 million. So capital gain for the first 4 months, right? Capital gain of 10 million, dividend of 2 million. All dividends were reinvested. Be careful, right? Reinvested meaning that it will become part of the investment amount in the next period. Because the fund's performance had been exceptional, institutions invested an additional 20 million on May the 1st. So remember, right? It got dividend of 2 million, capital gains of 10 million. It also got 20 million from the investor. So the AUM in the beginning of May became 132. There's 100 at the beginning. They enjoyed a capital gains of 10, dividend of 2, and 20 deposit, right? Deposit by the investor. So on December 31st, World Black received the total dividends of 264 million. And the market value at the end of the year was 140 million. Of course, excluding the dividend, not including the dividend payment. The fund made no other interim cash payments during 2014. So what is the time weighted? What is the money weighted? Okay, so we can draw it here. So the beginning of the year is year 0. The investor invested 100. So we started 2014 with 100 million. So for the first 4 months, how much again did they make from the story? 10 and 2, right? 10 and 2. So 10 and 2 divided by the initial investment. So for the first 4 months, the return was 12%. 12%. Okay, so new investment at the end of April. So when we started May, the amount of money, the beginning amount of investment was 132 million when we started. So at the end, how much did we make? from the story. 264. And what is the capital gain? Can you tell me quickly? We started at 132, right, in May. We ended with 140. How much was it then?
8, sir.
8, okay. So 8 plus the dividend, 264 out of 132. Remember, we started with 132, right, in early May. So we got this one, right, the second part of the year. So from January to April, they got 12%. From May to December, they got 8.06%. So we got the information. So it's very easy now. What is the arithmetic then? Not arithmetic. What is the time weighted? Can you tell me quickly? How will you calculate? Time weighted. How? Right? How is it again? Time weighted, geometric. Oh, anyone here? Can you tell me quickly how to do it again? And you can remember also. One plus what?
1 plus 12%.
Mm-hmm. Then?
And then times by 1 plus 8%.
Mm-hmm. Okay, because this is
Because
what
it's the
within
same
a year. The same year, and then you don't need to do the power, okay? Because it's within a year. So we get how much we got? Here. So you don't need to calculate because they did it for us. The time weighted return is 2103. Right? 2103%. So now what are the cash flows? So we are going to calculate this one now, money weighted return. So the time weighted return is 2103, right here, 2103. So there's time weighted, right? Time weighted for the portfolio managers. So what is the cash flow? Year 0? From the story here, what is the cash flow? At the beginning?
Minus 100, sir.
Yeah, minus 100. And what happened in year 1? What's that? Next cash flow? What do you think? The next cash flow, what is it? So you got dividend of 2 million. You reinvested. Is it part of cash flow? What do you think?
Yes, sir. It's a part of cash flow. So the second year cash flow is 1.02, which is 2%, I believe.
What's the cash flow again?
2%, sir.
Cash flow is the amount of money, not in percent. Right? So 2 million. No, this is the thing, right? This is the debatable because you got 2 million and then you reinvested. Is it part of your cash flow in the calculation of money weighted? It's debatable, right? Because you could say yes, because I could have withdrawn the 2 million and then I put it back. Right? On the other hand, you could argue that It's 2 million. You don't disburse any money because it's part of your investment return that is reinvested. So depending on how you see it, okay. So you could say you invested 2 million. And what else? Remember, you also got this one, right? Capital gains. How much was it? How much is it? Yeah, here. 10. Yeah. So capital gains 10 million. This is similar. You could argue that you see capital gains, right? I could have sold some stocks and cashed in the 10 million, but I didn't do it, so I reinvested. So it should be counted as, yeah, it should be counted as the cash outflows to me. Right? But another argument could say that you didn't disburse anything. It's part of your investment return that is reinvested. So you didn't pay any additional cash. So depending on how you do it, so it could be like this, right? -2, -10, and then remember that the investor did invest, right? Did invest new 20 million. So you see here, the cash flow one could be -32, or you say these two are not, because I didn't the investor didn't invest additional money in real terms, right? Because the 12 here was part of the compensation or returns from previous period that were reinvested. So you could say -32 or -20. Yeah, up to you how to see it, how to see the case. Next one, next period. What did you pay? Nothing else, yeah? No more. Yeah, no more. At the end, you have, how much do you have at the end? 140. Because dividend received at the end. So you have 140 and 264. Is it? Let's see the information again. The fund's market value was 140. Yeah, so at the end you have 140 and then 246. This is the end value of your investment, and this is the dividend that you got in at the end of the period. So 142. You see what they had? You see here, 100, and then -20, and then nothing, right? We saw nothing also. So they defined it like this, right? So they didn't include this one, although the dividend and capital gains were reinvested. So this is one of the one side of the argument that says that actually the investor didn't put additional money. It was just previous results that were reinvested. But if you want to argue that actually the investor could have cashed in the 2 and then the 10 and then put the amount back, so it should be counted as cash outflows. Yeah, you can say that also if you want. But yeah, depending on how you see it. Any question about this one? So you put into calculator here, right? -100, -20. Let's do it quickly. 0 and 142, 64. We'll find the money weighted. Right? Okay, so 6.28%. 6.28%. Should be 6.28. Yeah. 6.28%. So what was the time weighted again? Time weighted. what was our calculation again? $21.03, is it? Not sure it's correct, but you can try. Yeah, maybe correct. Still don't know. So 1 plus 12 multiplied by 1 plus 8.06. I don't know what, but so the money weighted return is 628%. Any question about all kind of time weighted, money weighted returns?
Sir?
Yes.
So at the end, like the end of that period, there's for the dividend, it is calculated because it's already ended, or because
it's already ended. Yes. So that's because we follow the information. The information says that 140 million excluded this. So the 140 million was not including 264. So the amount of money that we would enjoy, supposing that the end of investment period is year 3 is 140 and also 264.
Okay, thank you, sir. So
Okay.
the first dividend is not calculated because it is reinvested, and then at the end it is calculated because it's already
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. That's why you see, it depends on how you see it, right? This is quite arbitrary, quite arbitrary, depending on how you see it. Because you could say, actually you earn 2 million, right? 2 million in Apple. So you could have, withdrawn the money, right? 2 million, and then you invested it back. Then that would be cash outflows. Similarly with a capital gain. So, but in this case, I think that they are more conservative. They just assume because we don't add anything, the investor didn't add anything, so they just treat, or they just consider the dividend, the dividend and capital gains in Apple to be part of the next assets under management, but didn't affect the cash flows. Yeah, so it depends on how you see it. So this is a more conservative way, I think.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I know it's the time is the clock is ticking. I think we'll end at 6, maybe 6:20. Okay, because you need need to do the Maghrib prayers or something like that. So I'll give you time for that. So we'll end maybe at 6:20. So we'll continue a bit. So this is a long topic. Right? I think we need 2 or 3 sessions, maybe 4 sessions to finish it. Yeah, but if we cannot finish, you can watch my videos, okay? Because the second half of the course will be taught by someone else. But yeah, it will be okay. So let's continue. Because we haven't touched the portfolio theory, it's about the individual return for now. So some annualized return, so it's more interesting to state return in the annualized form. Right? Analyze everything. For example, if you've got the weekly return, you try to compound it to annually, so you power it with 12. But if this is like days, maybe 15 days or something, you find the total number of days in a year divided by that number of days. You understand that? For example, this is 15 days, so 1 plus return for every 15 days, you find to the power of number of days in a year divided by the number of days that you use per return. Okay, so this is quite straightforward. So to the power of n is the fraction of year. A fraction of year. For example, if this is weeks, then we have 52 weeks. If this is days, we have 365 days. But here is interesting one. So 18 months is more than 1 year. You see, so if you need to annualize, something that is beyond 1 year. The original data is beyond 1 year, 1.5 years. So you need to do it at 1 plus the return in 1.5 years, to the power of N, right? So the N is the fraction of year. So 1.5 years, what is the fraction of year is that? So you can do month if you want. So 1 plus return in every 18 months. So this is what the power of 12 months. There are 12 months in a year divided by 18 that you are using, right? Return every 18. So 12/18 is 2/3. Easy, right? So 12/18 is 2/3. You'll see some examples here. The last 100 days, can you tell me quickly? Last 100 days. So 1 plus to the power of
365 over 100.
Yeah, number of days in the year divided by number of days that you use. And what about number C? We do it randomly here. 5% every 3 months. So what is the annualized? Every 3 months? How many months in a year are there?
12.
12
Yeah.
over
12
Then?
over 3.
Yeah, so to the power of 4. 4. Easier. So gross and net return, net means net of these kind of things, right? Management expenses, custodial fees, taxes. For example, when you talk about what's that, your investment return, stock trading return, you have to cut it with the brokerage fees. Brokerage fees, the one trip when you buy, they will cut at 0.17%, for example. When you sell it, they will cut 0.27 because that includes the capital gains tax. So 0.25%, 0.27% includes the brokerage fee and also the capital gains tax. So it's a bit more expensive, but yeah, you have to cut everything that you get in gross return. You get the net return. Sorry. Gross return means the gross, right? Gross is the raw return. Net return means you cut everything. And then pre-tax and after tax. Fortunately, in Indonesia, if you do the stock trading, the capital gains tax is fixed. Okay, so it's not progressive, right? Not progressive. But in the United States, it's quite complicated, right? If you receive dividend, your tax will follow the tax bracket. So this is quite heavy. Can you imagine if you're in the tax bracket of 35% because you're super rich, right? like Mark Zuckerberg or Jeff Bezos or anyone. Right? So you are at the highest tax bracket. So if you receive dividends, wow, this is quite painful. You don't need the money, but it's cut by the dividend tax, and the dividend tax will follow your tax bracket. So in Indonesia, this is not right. This is not following the tax bracket. How much is it? The fixed dividend tax in Indonesia? Anyone here? Quite obvious. How much? Very cheap. Yeah, not that cheap, but it's relatively cheap. How much is it? You never know. You never notice. It's 10% only. 10%. Okay. So dividend tax in Indonesia is fixed or final. We call it final. Fixed at 10%. In the United States, you follow the tax bracket. Now this is quite interesting one. Capital gains tax. Okay, capital gains tax in the United States. This is quite interesting. If you hold the stock less than 12 months, then the capital gains tax is, I don't remember, maybe, I don't follow anymore. Maybe 15% or something, or 12%. Right? Yeah, around 12 to 15%, okay? But if you hold the stock more than 12 months, right? If you hold the stock more than 12 months, when you sell it, you get some gains or capital gains, then the capital gains tax is quite low. I think it's about 10% or a little bit lower than 10. You see, so this incentivizes or this motivates the stock traders or stock owners or stockholders to to hold the stocks for a longer period of time to be real investors, right? Rather than mere traders, right? Going back and forth. See here, but in Indonesia, capital gains tax is very low. You see, when you pay the 0.25% when you sell the stock, this already includes the capital gains tax, so it's final, final or fixed. One more thing, I think, before we end our session today, we'll have the real return. Can you tell me, maybe from other courses, what is a real return? We have nominal return, we have real return. What is it?
Real return is nominal return adjusted for inflation.
Excellent. Yeah, very easy. So 1 plus real return should equal 1 plus nominal return, right, multiplied by 1 plus inflation rate. Okay, so this is the official way. But if you are lazy, okay, if you are lazy, yeah, most of us are lazy. So if you are lazy, you can find it this way: real is equal nominal plus inflation. Of course, it's not entirely correct, right? Not entirely accurate. But if you're on the street, you want to calculate quickly, there's nothing to lose, right? It's quite close, not right, but close, right? So if I ask you a simple question, what is the nominal rate then? How to estimate the nominal rate from here?
Minus inflation.
Yeah, that's the lazy way. What is the more proper way? More proper way using this one? How to estimate the nominal rate?
Oh, it's 1 plus real divided by 1 plus inflation.
Yeah, that's right. So that's the proper way, right? But if you're lazy, of course, nominal is equal real rate minus inflation. Oh, sorry, this is, yeah, a bit wrong. Sorry. Should be minus here. Yeah, so maybe we are tired. So 1 plus, what's that? 1 plus nominal should equal 1 plus real multiplied by 1 plus inflation, right? Okay, so if you are lazy, the nominal should equal real plus inflation. So real rate, if you are lazy, lazy way, real interest rate should equal nominal rate minus inflation, right? And or the proper way would be 1 plus real rate should equal 1 plus nominal divided by 1 plus inflation. Okay, and the remaining would be quite easy. The special returns, yeah. So some special case leverage return. Leverage means what? Tell me quickly. What's the meaning of leverage? Right? Leverage, what is the meaning? Okay, anyone here? Leverage?
It's using debt, sir. Using debt to
you borrow money. That's right. Using debt. For example, in Indonesia, we can only borrow a little from our broker. For example, you have 100 million. Maybe your broker will give you additional 10 million. So only small 10%. But in the United States, some brokerage firms will be willing to give you a margin, margin trading of 50%. Can you imagine? 50% is bigger. 50% means if you put $10,000, how much money can you invest if the margin is 50%? 50% means double. If you put cash 10,000, then you are allowed to invest up to what?
50.
50% means double. So 2 times, right?
20.
Yeah, so 20. Yeah, 20. So if you put cash 10, they will allow you to play until up to 20,000, right? Because the margin is 50%. But let me change the story. What if the margin is 80%, right? 80% margin is required. So if you put 10,000, how much is it? Can you tell me quickly? If the margin required is 80%, so they can lend you 20%. So you are required to maintain the margin at 80%. So they will lend you 20%. So if you put 10, how much is it that can be invested? Huh? How much is it? So 10, but so you need to maintain what, 8 per 10, right? 80%. So you could invest up to 10 per 8, is it? So how much is it?
$12.5.
Yeah, 12,500, right? So this is the maximum amount that you could invest. If they give you the margin requirement of only 80%, so they can lend you 20%. Okay, so leverage return. So we have to include the fact that some of the money are leveraged or are borrowed, right? Borrowed from maybe our broker or anyone. Okay, so this is for next week onward. Yeah, so we'll stop here. Okay, so next week we'll continue with the expected return. So today we finished the historical returns, right? All of them, all techniques. So there's no reason that you don't understand money weighted or time weighted, right? This is very important for your CFA exam, for whatever, right? Money weighted, time weighted, they will always appear. Trust me, in your CFA exam. Any final question for today? I know it's quite tiring. We have several sessions like this, leading to the portfolio theory and then capital asset pricing model. Okay. Any final question before we end everything? Okay, so continue reading. Okay, so by next week, you have to finish reading chapters 5, 6, and 7. Right? 5, 6, 7, very crucial. And then the week after, you need to finish chapters 8 and 9. But for next week, make sure that you finish chapters 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so take care and see you next week. We can communicate by WhatsApp.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
See you next
Thank you so
week,
much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,